Okay, so we're going to take a look at how you make damage reports so that they actually work on the computers. So we are on the bridge of the Atlantis right now, which is where you actually have to make the reports. You'll notice we're going to just log into this computer. When I come here to the damage report screen, this is a list of the damaged systems. If I have a report that's already been made, when it's damaged, it will actually show up on the right side here. But if I have one like I have gravity right here, or the zoology pins where there is not a report, then nothing shows up because obviously one hasn't been made. So let's make a report to repair gravity. So in order to do that, we need to get out of the programming. It's actually really easy. On the keyboard, I'm actually going to lift it up just so you can see. You just hit this little window button here, and it pulls up the window. You go down, and the best thing to do is just hit like My Documents or something to pull up the screen. You come over here, go to Desktop, and then we need to go in the folder where all the programming is. Right now that's in the Enterprise Final screen. So double click on that. Okay, so then we double click here on Exported, and we come up to the cached stacks. Now this is where in the programming it keeps all the fonts and pictures and things like that. We're going to come over here on the right where it says damage reports, and here, let me zoom in a bit so you can see, is a list of all the damage reports we currently have that can be pulled up on this computer. So we want to make a new one. We want to make the gravity one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a random one. Let's do CO2 scrubbers. Why not? And you'll see here now we have all of the steps to fix the CO2 scrubbers. To make it gravity, we just need to save it as a different name. We need to actually save it as gravity. So if you didn't see, I just went to File, Save As, and then you come here and you just type in gravity. Now the main thing is you need to make sure to spell it right on here. Otherwise, when you break it, it won't pull up the right report because it has the wrong spelling, if that makes sense. So now we have it named as gravity. We need to actually make the steps for gravity. So we're going to go through and change right here where it says CO2 scrubbers, change it to gravity. After, that's just the title of the report, then we need to explain what is wrong. So I'm just going to get rid of all of this and say the gravity system is offline and must be repaired. Super simple. Now, the main thing you need to remember with damage reports is things need to be spelled correctly. If you're not sure how to spell a word, check with someone else. Don't just make things up because it needs to look nice and professional. So when you spell things right, that's always a good thing. And we also need to remember that these reports are being read by kids as young as 9. So they need to be somewhat simple enough so that these kids can read it, but interesting enough so when we get adult crews that they are interested in it too. So we're going to start off here with step 1. Right now it says damage control won't be able to start working on the repairs if there's still power in the system. Go to the right wing, I'm going to put officer, and have them take all the power out of the CO2 scrubbers. Now here's the handy trick with damage reports is you can make steps that are basically the same in every report, but they just change a bit. So for this one, I'm just going to change it. So instead of saying CO2 scrubbers, it says gravity. Now, the other thing you need to do is when you're making these reports, you're having damage control go to different stations and do different things. You need to make sure that that station actually has it. So I would need to go over to right wing and actually make sure that they can take the power out of gravity. I'm not going to, well, no, we might as well do that right now. So we're going to go over to right wing. Okay, we are now over at right wing. Oh, it's really blurry, I apologize. And this is kind of thing, as you know the stations better, then you'll be able to know, oh yeah, they have gravity at their station, or oh no, they don't. When we look at it now, you'll notice they don't control the power for gravity. So that's not going to be a good step to have on the report. And if I remember right, it is also a system that is not on left wing either. So we just need to find a completely new step to put in there as step 1, which we'll do right now. Sorry, the camera's on a tripod and it's doing weird things, so I apologize for all the crazy movement. So instead of having this step, I'm just going to complete or get rid of this, all of this taking power out, because it doesn't work with our controls. What I might do is just do what's here as step 2 and make that step 1. So usually a good first step is like taking the power out or having damage control make a damage team. So that's what we'll use this. So it says a team will need to be sent to start their pairs. Create the following damage control team. Team name, I'll change it to gravity, priority. I'll just put normal. And then you need to have the orders for what they're going to do. So in this, I'm going to tell them go to deck 9 and check the gravity generators for any damage. And you know what? We better specify who we want. So we'll say send 3 general engineers to deck 9 and check the gravity generators for any damage. Now, we now have this step 1 to create this damage team. We're going to go on to the next step. You know, you think around the bridge. Okay, who else could they go to have things done? They could go to communications and have them make a phone call somewhere. They could go to security and have them send security teams out to guard rooms or do various things. Left and right wing, they can take power out of systems. They can put parts into different places. They could go to the engineer and have them flip switches and dials and things. They could even have like security run internal scans or diagnostics to see, you know, what's going on. So sometimes you want to think of some cool new steps that they can do. So that's what like this one is. You know, this says it is possible that there is still enough power in the system to be dangerous to repair crews. The engineer will need to reroute power on their computer. Create the following message. Now, this is so if they wanted to, they could write down the step to give to the engineer. I'm actually going to change this to just say the engineer will need to reroute power on the computer. And then we're going to get rid of all of this. Tell them to turn the following off. This is another hint. Sometimes you need, the way you space things will help the crew be able to see what exactly they're supposed to be doing. So for like this, if I just saved it and we come back here, step 2 is this step right here. By adding that space, it kind of helps break that apart so that if they're having to look back and forth at their screen, they're not having to read through that entire step again. All right, so we're not going to actually go through and finish with typing up all of these steps, but just some other general things to remember. Things like if you at the beginning have you know, damage control send a damage team out, at the end or somewhere in there, you should probably have them talk to that damage team again so that they find out what's going on. Or, you know, kind of try and have things be continuous and wrap things up so that it kind of makes sense. If you need help with damage reports or things, just look through what's already there. It will give you some good ideas of steps you can use, of things you can adjust so that you can make these damage reports. Now, remember, like I said before, the things to remember with damage reports. Number 1, spell the name of the system or of the report right when you save it. Otherwise, when we break it, it won't actually show up. And make sure that you're spelling things right in the damage reports. If things aren't spelled right, it's going to look weird, and adults especially are going to question it and, you know, wonder why aren't things spelled correctly. So good luck with your damage reports, and hopefully they are now going to be fantastic.